Oh, this hole's getting big. Got my new trailer here. Now I got a problem though. This thing's about 10,000 pounds loaded with gravel, and it has trailer brakes on it. Well, my truck has a nice 7-way plug here, but I've never actually hooked up the brake controller on it. I've had the parts and the brake controller for a couple of years, but I always said if I borrowed the trailer with brakes on it, I'd hook it up since none of mine have brakes. They're old. I actually need to put brakes on them. So tonight's little project, I'm gonna get the brake controller hooked up. This truck used to have a service bed on it. And when they installed the service bed, they just cut the wires off. But luckily they're still here. So I'm gonna show you how to plug in a brake controller up under the dash. And we're gonna do some nice little splices back here. I'm even gonna use the correct wire colors. I'm gonna go crazy. I thought about using all black, but nah. All right, one of the nice things about being pre-wired like that truck is I can get one of these little adapter cables and I can plug this in under the dash, and then this end goes to the controller, and I'm good to go. Well, I gotta figure out where to actually mount the controller. But I'm good to go under the dash, so maybe that won't be that painful this time. Yeah, right. Well, let's see if we can get this thing plugged in here. Get my light on. It's pretty dark under here. Okay. Let's get down here. All right. Way all the way down. All right, what we're going to try to do is get plugged into this little module right here. That's where this big plug goes. Okay, I dropped the camera while trying to plug this in one-handed, but that's what it looks like, just that big blue plug and that white plug right in. Now now I got my cable right here. I'm gonna come up, do a little zip tie work. I'll mount my brake controller right here. So, let's get the controller marked out and let's drill a few pilot holes. We're gonna put it right here. Put a little mark there, little mark there. Somewhere along that, if I drill a pilot hole, we should be good. All right. Get this screwed in. Only place I could figure out I could put it that wasn't moving object or removable panel. I'm going to put it on these furthest out holes because I want plenty of clearance. Get that all screwed in. Gravity. All right. I just know I can hit this hole if I try hard. Power of positive thinking. Okay. Now then, if I plug this in, that should be hooked up. Does not seem to come on. I may need to see if there's a fuse for a brake controller. But I'm going to neaten all this up with zip ties. Oh, actually, there it is. It does power up. Comes on when I hit the brake. Goes off when I release the brake. Well, I think that's hooked up. All in all, that's about the easiest under the dash install I've ever done. Well, I'm going to zip tie all this up, button it back up, and then we're going to move to the back, fix that butchered wiring. Trim it off clean. Strip that one off. Now, I got these little solder type of connectors. They're not the name brand, but they work pretty good. I like to kind of wrap them together like that and slide them back down. There we go. Got them right in the middle. And if this works right, you can take this. You gotta wait till that solder. There we go. It started to flow now. Get that solder to flow inside that connector. And these make a waterproof connection. Let that cool off for a second. That's starting to get a wee bit warm. It's probably what I get for using the knockoff brands. Yeah, that didn't seal at all. I can usually make it work better than that. Well, that idea didn't work out. I've had good luck with those before, but apparently not tonight. So when in doubt, go with your old-fashioned butt splices. Got that nice and clear, so let's just slide that on. Let's kind of trim that up a little bit. Ow! My plier. As that kind of looks a little mangled. Okay. All right, slide that in. Crimp that down. Totally missed the crimp. Slide that back together. Try that again, because I didn't really crimp that very good. This blue wire is our brake controller. Okay. Okay, that's good and solid. Now, just slide on some heat shrink, because we definitely want to try to make that waterproof. Slide on a second piece for this other connector over here. And we'll put in this butt splice right here. Let's take blue to blue. Mayhaps I should have checked if the heat shrink goes over my tube connectors. Okay, new plan. Okay, after switching out the hard plastic ones on this end, remembering that this is a heat shrink, and when I shrink it, then the heat shrink tube itself fits over it. Yeah, I forgot that heat shrinks. But these hard plastic ones like came with it, don't. So, after getting everything back where it's supposed to be, I'm back on track. Just remember, we do it nice, because we do it twice. It's a good thing we don't charge ourselves money. Okay, so let's go ahead and put our heat shrink tube over all our connections, because you know, we want to maintain some watertight here, because until I get the bed put on this truck, this is kind of exposed to the elements back here. And I know this isn't necessarily the best, but this will keep it safe. Then I'm going to use some of my Super 33 right here, and I'm going to loom it up, because we're going to do our best to keep this nice and dry. Let's see. Let's start getting this thing running here. This ought to shrink up real nice. It's pretty good heat shrink here. It's 3X shrink. That's a pretty good job sealing everything up. Well, that's working better than our little off-brand solder sticks. And this is the adhesive lined heat shrink, so it gets pretty watertight once it shrinks up. Wrap our way down here, and we'll just loom this whole thing with some Super 33 electrical tape. That ought to do it. I'll keep it weather tight, at least for now, until I get the bed done and I completely redo all this wiring again. But I think I will wait till tomorrow to test it. Well, it's actually a couple days later now. 3 days actually. And one flash flood later. Had 2.5 inches of rain, so a little bit hard to get things done. I can't really show you a whole lot here, but got all hooked up. I've got trailer lights. I got trailer brakes. I push the button and you can watch the, when you push the button, you can watch the gain shoot right on up. So you know what? I can finally stop what I'm starting. All right. Until next time. Thanks for watching. I think this will be my first dump load right here. Oh, this hole's getting big.